July 14 and 15. This is an overnight backpacking expedition solo. I'm going back to goat. 5 weeks ago I predicted that July would have mosquitoes. Within the borders of probability, there exists everything in the form of possibility. That is, within the limits of probability, everything is possible. The subject of Infinite Monkey Theorem, which I'm sure you know, suggests that if you had an infinite number of monkeys sitting at an infinite number of computers for an infinite amount of time, eventually one of the monkeys would, at random, reproduce the complete works of Shakespeare. Here's the conundrum. We all know that a monkey ain't gonna type Shakespeare. On the other hand, the theorem is right, because it doesn't deal with input. It doesn't care about monkeys or computers. It cares about limits. You and I know that a monkey ain't ever going to type Shakespeare because we live in a universe that has limits on it. We automatically apply limits to the theorem. For example, if you had an infinite number of monkeys, then monkeys wouldn't necessarily take up all the space, even if there was an infinite amount of space, which would leave no room for any computers, unless the monkeys and the computers occupied the same space simultaneously. Then they wouldn't be able to type. Here's my favorite 10-padded goat lake. Somebody put a fire pit on it, and there's some garbage here and there, so I'll probably spend some time cleaning it up. But first, I guess I'll set up a camp. We understand limits. We're comfortable with limits. It's concepts like infinite that make us uncomfortable. The theorem deals with output. It removes all of the limits from the experiment and allows for any possible outcome. And one of the possible outcomes is the complete works of Shakespeare. There's camp. I'll give you a quick tour. The bedroom and bedroom related crap. There's the living room and kitchen. There's my sink. There's a stereo, some food, and a bunch of junk, emergency stuff, fishing gear, whatever. Here's my view. I believe there's a version of the theorem which suggests that one monkey sitting at one computer for an infinite quantity of time would produce the same result, which makes sense because one monkey for an infinite quantity of time equals an infinite quantity of monkey. I think. And time is the stage upon which probabilities expand and contract. Probability of something happening in the past, for example, is fixed. It's either 100% or 0. It happened or it didn't. Probabilities in the present are dependent on those events frozen in the timeline in the past. The probabilities in the future are super expansive. The probability, for example, of myself launching myself in a steam-powered rocket ship built by myself, probably not great, unless in the past I set in motion a chain of events leading up to the launch. For example, if I built a steam-powered rocket ship, in which case the probability of myself launching myself in a steam-powered rocket ship built by myself expands into the present and the future. Now, the probability of myself possessing enough knowledge of math and science to build a steam-powered rocket ship, but not possessing enough knowledge of math and science to know that the Earth ain't flat, I wouldn't think it would be great. Apparently it's not 0. Since our memories are more vivid than our imaginations, we tend to see the world from the past to the present. That is, we see the world as a narrowing set of possibilities. But if we could see the world from the present forward, as though we were born right now, this instant, and the circumstances with which we're faced aren't a limited set of circumstances, but just a starting point, our possibilities expand to infinity in the future. And then everything is possible. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Hot and there are mosquitoes. Bad combination because you don't want to wear your mosquito shirt, but you don't want to get eaten alive by mosquitoes. I've been killing myself with 100% DEET. It only works marginally, if at all, but it repels me quite effectively. It's hot, there's bugs, it's very beautiful, and now I'm gonna get on the trail.